Listen, if you have spent more than 5 minutes warming your hands by a fire at deer camp, or sitting around the tailgate after zeroing rifles at the range, you already know exactly what argument is going to start up. It does not matter if you are chasing whitetail through the thick brush of the southeast, or glassing a high ridge for bull elk out west. Some guy is going to claim he has found the absolute perfect do-it-all round. We are talking about that mythical ballistic unicorn, the one cartridge that has the precision for a black bear hunt, but still packs enough kinetic sledgehammer to drop a massive Yukon moose in its tracks. A lot of shooters base this entirely on whatever their granddaddy shot, or pure brand loyalty. But as an instructor and someone who geeks out over terminal ballistics, I can tell you that when we look at the actual data, the pressure curves, and the wound channels, the truth is right there in the numbers. We are going to break down the top 8 contenders for the ultimate American hunting cartridge, and look at what actually works when flesh meets lead. Coming in at number 8, we have what I consider the most disrespected lightweight puncher in the safe, the .243 Winchester. Winchester brought this to the market back in 1955. They essentially took standard .308 Winchester brass and necked that casing down to accept a .243 caliber bullet. I have seen this round do absolute work on varmints and medium-sized deer, especially in dense woods where your shots are almost always inside 200 yards. You are usually throwing projectiles weighing between 80 and 100 grains, and they are leaving the muzzle screaming at 2,900 to 3,000 feet per second. But you have to respect the physics here, because of that incredibly mild recoil and flat trajectory. It is an absolute dream for new shooters or anyone sensitive to recoil. But it simply does not carry the mass or sectional density to shatter heavy bone on larger game. Keep this strictly loaded for deer and antelope. Do not try to play sniper on a bull elk with it, because you will fail to reach the vitals. If you are shopping for ammo, expect to drop $22 to $38 a box. Cartridge that has started more fistfights in gun shop parking lots than any other caliber in recent history. The 6.5 Creedmoor. Hornady engineered this round back in 2007, and initially it was strictly a paper puncher for the long-range precision rifle crowd. But hunters out in the field quickly noticed something. A projectile with that high of a ballistic coefficient bucks the wind beautifully. It fires a .264 diameter bullet, generally sitting in that sweet spot between 120 and 143 grains. You are looking at muzzle velocities resting between 2,700 and 2,850 feet per second. Because the industry went absolutely crazy for this round, the market is flooded with match-grade hunting ammunition, running you anywhere from $25 to $50 a box. Let us talk terminal performance, because I have seen it firsthand. If you run a solid monolithic copper bullet or a high-quality bonded soft point, this round is an absolute scalpel on whitetail. It can ethically take an elk inside of 300 yards, provided you do your part with surgical shot placement. It is highly efficient, wildly accurate, and soft on the shoulder. Sliding into the number 6 spot, we have an absolute classic piece of American gunsmithing history, the .300 Savage. Savage Arms unleashed this back in 1920, specifically engineered to squeeze every ounce of performance out of their legendary lever-action rifles. You can look at this as the direct ballistic ancestor to the modern .308. It fires that familiar .308 caliber bullet, usually loaded between 150 and 180 grains, and it pushes them at a very respectable 2,600 to 2,700 feet per second. The brilliance of this design is the sheer efficiency of the powder burn. You are achieving near-modern ballistic performance out of a very compact case, which translates to a very gentle felt recoil, sitting right around 13 to 15 foot-pounds. I know a few guys who run this in bolt-action setups, but this cartridge truly belongs in the lever gun community. The biggest issue you will face is modern logistics. You cannot just walk into a random hardware store on the way to camp and find a box. You will be ordering online or pressing your own brass at the reloading bench. When you do find it, you will be paying $30 to $50 a box. Taking the number 5 position is the absolute darling of the legendary gun writer Jack O'Connor, the .270 Winchester. Ever since 1923, This has been the gold standard for reaching out across wide open spaces. Winchester basically took the old 30-06 case and necked it down to accept a .277 caliber bullet. Most guys are running projectiles right around 130 to 150 grains. I have watched shooters ring steel with this at incredible distances because it shoots so notoriously flat. If your hunt involves tracking mule deer across a massive canyon or stalking pronghorn on the open plains, that flat trajectory means you spend way less time calculating holdovers. Now, with heavy premium bonded bullets, it is highly capable of dropping an elk. But I will be honest with you, this is not what I am grabbing if I am in grizzly territory, or tracking a massive moose where you need catastrophic tissue disruption. But for a shoulder-friendly, long-distance laser beam, it is hard to beat. Expect to pay $25 to $45 a box. Stepping up to number 4, we enter the heavy-hitting belted Magnum territory. With the 7mm Remington Magnum. Remington dropped this on the market in 1962, specifically catering to Western big game hunters who needed serious kinetic energy at extreme distances. It utilizes a .284 diameter bullet, usually weighing in between 140 and 175 grains. This absolute rocket leaves the barrel at 2,900 to 3,100 feet per second. When a projectile hits an animal at that velocity, the hydrostatic shock is devastating. But here is a word of caution from experience. If you shoot a whitetail at 50 yards with this thing, it is massive overkill, and you are going to ruin a lot of good meat. But if you are sucking wind at 10,000 feet of elevation, lining up on a bull elk, the 7 Mag is a ballistic sledgehammer. Just be aware that your barrel life will be significantly shorter than standard calibers, and you will be paying $35 to $60 for a box of ammunition. Coming in hot at number 3 is the rifle you pull out of the safe when you absolutely cannot afford for a target to take another step. The .300 Winchester Magnum. Hitting the scene in 1963, this round immediately established itself as the heavyweight champion for North American big game. There is a reason military sniper teams still rely heavily on this cartridge. It utilizes the exact same .308 diameter bullet as the standard 30 calibers, but it sits on top of a massive powder column. You are launching heavy payloads, anywhere from 165 to 200 grains, at velocities easily exceeding 3,200 feet per second. The energy transfer upon impact is nothing short of violent. But you do not get that power for free. The recoil is punishing, and this rifle will let you know exactly when the sear breaks. Premium ammunition will drain your wallet at $40 to $75 a box, but if you are trekking through thick brown bear country, the .300 Win Mag is arguably the most capable and versatile Magnum ever designed. Sitting proudly at number 2 is the undisputed universal soldier of the hunting world, the .308 Winchester. This is the civilian counterpart to the legendary .762 NATO round, introduced to the hunting public in 1952. In my professional opinion, this represents the absolute perfect balance between stopping power, shooter comfort, and mechanical action length. Because it is engineered for a short-action receiver, your rifle is lighter to carry, and your bolt throw is faster. It sends lead weighing between 150 and 180 grains at a very consistent 2,600 to 2,800 feet per second. It delivers around 2,600 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, but the recoil impulse is so manageable you can run drills with it all afternoon without developing a flinch. This is the undisputed king of the eastern whitetail woods. Yes, a Magnum will fly flatter past 400 yards, but inside realistic, ethical hunting distances, it performs flawlessly every single time. And the best part? You can walk into almost any rural gas station in America and buy a box for $20 to $40. And finally, claiming the undisputed number 1 spot, the absolute warhorse that helped defeat tyranny abroad and has filled American freezers for over a century. The .30-06 Springfield. Adopted by the United States military back in 1906, this is the benchmark, the gold standard that every other hunting caliber is inevitably compared against. Just like the .308 and the Win Mag, it launches a .308 diameter bullet, but the sheer case capacity of this long-action cartridge is where the magic happens. It gives you the widest, most versatile range of bullet weights on this entire list. You can load up a lightweight 110-grain screamer to hunt coyotes, or you can seat a massive 220-grain round-nose bullet if you are worried about stopping a charging bear. The standard .308 case simply runs out of internal volume to seat those massive projectiles. But the .06 handles that heavy payload without breaking a sweat. You can download it to shoot as soft as a .270, or you can load it spicy to nip right at the heels of a .300 Win Mag. That unmatched versatility is exactly why, after 119 years, it still wears the crown. You can grab a box of this American history for $22 to $45 almost anywhere.
All right, there is the hard data. The industry loves to push the newest, flashiest tactical cartridges with massive marketing budgets. But when the smoke clears, the .30-06 Springfield is still the undisputed, do-it-all king of the North American wilderness.
Now, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. What is your absolute go-to deer rifle currently chambered in? And have you ever actually had a caliber fail to do its job out in the field? Drop that knowledge below so we can discuss it. If you picked up some solid intel from this ballistic breakdown, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our next range session. Train hard, stay safe, carry every day, and I will see you on the firing line.